coming through a series of difficulties into a season now where I am in a land that's flowing with milk and honey. It's like you ever speed down the road and then you hit okay, it stopped. And it's a very jarring kind of whiplash type of experience. And I'm learning that I'm no longer in a season of struggle, and I'm struggling now to rest. This is where the rubber meets the road, and this is where the music changes. And if this was a movie or a sitcom, the music would have just changed, because my mind is catching up to the place that my heart is now learning to rest. Like, oh, okay, you don't have to struggle anymore. Oh, okay, everything you need has already been supplied. Oh, okay, you're not a grieving widow anymore. Now you're a newlywed again. Hello, somebody. So as I'm talking about my life, I hope you're thinking about your life. There will come a day, if it hasn't already, where your struggling season will be over. And we have to learn to labor into rest. Come here, Bible. The real work is learning to rest. Hey y'all, it's Crystal Speaks Live. My sisters, come in. Let's have a conversation. First of all, like my 4-year-old says, make sure you're liking and subscribing to this channel. Man, I'm so grateful for each of you who are following what we're doing here on this platform. I really hope and pray that it's adding value today to you, to your everyday lives. Today, we're talking about what happens when it happens. That thing that you've been praying for, that thing that you have been asking God for. How do you handle yourself when it happens? What is that it for you? I can't tell you what that is, but I can share a little bit about my story and personal testimony in the hopes that it will bring some light and life to your story as well. What happens when it happens? Learning to settle into rest after a season of struggle. Now listen, y'all know, I don't come on as some expert, some person who has it all together. I don't know how to do that. I lost my ability to pretend a long time ago, and I'm thanking God that it's gone and it's never coming back. So because of that, we're going to work through this together. This is another one of those life lessons that I'm learning to live through, that I'm emerging from. Many of you know some of my recent struggles as a new widow. About a year and a half ago, I buried my husband. But one day recently, I was actually kind of recounting a timeline over the past almost 10 years. And I was surprised to discover a series of struggles since 2017, when we left our ministry that we were serving at for over 10 years. We were there, we were pillars in that ministry, didn't know we were pillars, but when we left, like, things kind of went wonky and a lot of things were said and done in terms of church hurt that we had to heal from. In 2018, we had a miscarriage and we were believing God for that baby to live, so excited to be pregnant, and the baby died. And it was a very traumatic experience. 2020, I got pregnant, had my big head baby. I got pregnant in 2019, had her in 2020 in the middle of the pandemic. Awesome, wonderful, amazing, besides the whole pandemic thing and losing 7 family members in 1 year due to a global pandemic. That was crazy. So it was like the best of times, worst of times then. And then 2021 or 2022, my husband was diagnosed with late-stage colon cancer, and he ultimately passed away in December of 2023. And now here we are in 2025, where I met my now husband last year. We met and married within a year, relocated out from Michigan to Ohio. Time is filled with swift transitions. So coming through a series of difficulties into a season now where I am in a land that's flowing with milk and honey. It's like you ever speed down the road and then you hit okay, it stopped. And it's a very jarring kind of whiplash type of experience. And I'm learning that I'm no longer in a season of struggle, and I'm struggling now to rest. This is where the rubber meets the road, and this is where the music changes. And if this was a movie or a sitcom, the music would have just changed, because my mind is catching up to the place that my heart is now learning to rest. Like, oh, okay, you don't have to struggle anymore. Oh, okay, everything you need has already been supplied. Oh, okay, you're not a grieving widow anymore. Now you're a newlywed again. Hello, somebody. So as I'm talking about my life, I hope you're thinking about your life. There will come a day, if it hasn't already, where your struggling season will be over. And we have to learn to labor into rest. Come here, Bible. The real work is learning to rest. So let's talk about it. What happens when it happens? The thing you prayed for, when you finally get the job, when you're dealing with the diagnosis and then you get a clean bill of health, when you pray for your kids and all of a sudden they get their act right back, when you pray for a spouse and then now you're happily married, when the door opens, when the relationship is restored, when the promise is fulfilled. What happens when it happens? I don't know if I've heard a lot of talks about this. Everybody know, like, we learn how to struggle. I'm coming up, if you're a church kid, on the rough side of the mountain. You're keeping your head above water. You're making a way when you can. We get good at that. We suck at resting. We suck at in a season when things are settled, because things are settled externally, but it's still tumultuous internally. It's like we're afraid that the bottom gonna fall out. We're afraid to be too happy. We don't want to we don't want to lean into it too much, because what if, and all those types of thoughts. But we're going to lean into this today. What happens when the struggle is over, but you don't know how to live without the fight? Sis, if I'm talking to you, put me in the chat. Let's go Bible. Y'all ready? I love this Bible. The children of Israel, I'm not going to quote chapter and verse, but we're going to lift biblical principles. They were in the wilderness for 40 years. That's a whole generation that only knew manna. So they only had one means of provision. They knew hot desert heat. They were constantly moving. They lived in tents because they had to be ready to move at any point in time. So what were they? They were unsettled. They were in a rough terrain, a difficult environment. They lived in survival mode, not just externally, but internally. Can you imagine living a life? Of course you can, because I know who I'm talking to, where you never feel settled in your soul. You feel like a vagabond internally. Like, man, I go from one relationship to another. I go from one friendship to another. I go from one church to another, because you're looking for you. You're looking for safety. You're looking for a solid foundation for you to build your life on. Even those of us who know Jesus struggle with feeling settled sometimes. So the children of Israel, they had this struggle for 40 years, a whole generation of people who felt unsettled, unsafe. They were following the fire by day, the cloud by day, the fire by night. But they never had a place where they could call home. Hello. But then it happened. What happens when it happens, right? Then it happened. They crossed over into a land the land was flowing. So now I don't got to go and get the manna seed and work it and make some bread. Now the land is flowing. I'm in a place where provision is plentiful. I'm in a place where I got more friends that I know what to do with. I'm in a place where my man is loving on me. I'm in a place where my kids is good. I'm in a place where things are good. But then the struggle that was previously external, now it's internal. Because I don't know how to rest. I don't know how to enjoy this land that's flowing with milk and honey. Abundance, vineyards they didn't plant, houses they didn't build. They had to adjust to abundance. You know how you can get settled in scarcity You can get so used to going to get it that when it's given to you, you're like, wait, I thought I had to go get it. You can get so used to having to make it for yourself that when God's like, oh, here, you're like, wait a minute. I thought, only the things that's hard work, only the things that come hard, that's what's worth working for. Some of the things that we say. What are some of the struggle speech? Let's go over some struggle speech. I'm the strong one. I've always been the strong one in my circle. I'm a survivor. We love that one. I'm a survivor. I'm the strong one. I'm a survivor. I'm always hustling. I always got to go get it. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I know how to make it do what it do. What happens when you don't got to make it do what it do anymore? Sis, look, I'm not trying to front like I got this part together because I'm still learning. I'm learning how to rest in this place. This is a new level of faith. I know the level of faith that it requires in a valley season. Let me take my glasses off and talk to you. I know the level of faith that it requires. In a season where you can't kill nothing, won't nothing die. I know the level of faith that it requires to be abased. To when you feel ignored, like heaven is like giving you the side eye, girl, bye. I know that level of faith. To hang on till brighter days come. I'm learning how to use my faith when brighter days are here. I'm learning the dexterity of faith in this season. That I need faith to rest now in the same way that I needed faith to wrestle then. The same faith that you use to wrestle, use it to rest. Alrighty. We're going to learn on. We're going to learn right on. Do we trust God enough to stop fighting? What's that song, N.D.I.R.E.? One shot to your heart without breaking your skin. I felt like that was a shot to the heart. That was for me. I'm learning to trust God enough to stop fighting. I'm learning to trust God enough to not create chaos because that's what I'm used to. I'm learning to trust that a good God will make all things good. That He promised to make all things beautiful in His time. I'm trusting the God that restores. I'm trusting the God that revives. I'm trusting the God that brings recompense. For every tear I cry, I'm trusting that God will add a year of laughter and joy to my life. And then it happened. What happens when it happens? There's a psychology behind this too. Trauma, struggle, instability. They rewire the brain. That is like a drip feeder of cortisol. When you live like that, for my story, it's been 2017. I don't remember a crazy struggle before then. But it was like I entered a season where it was like, you're going to struggle for some years. Every couple of years, it's going to be something that happens to you. What that did, it created an expectation in me. I didn't know it. But it put this thing in me that started to look for trouble. It made me braced. I got good at it. I'm not that good here. I'm learning to be better. And we're going to learn together, okay? We're going to learn together. Trauma rewires the brain, that constant release of cortisol. It trains your body to live on the edge instead of at ease. Let's get back to Eden and live on top of the world. What was it like in Eden? They were at ease. If I was the devil, and I'm not, I would want God's people on the edge instead of at ease. When we live with this struggle addiction, go back and watch the video if you missed that one. If you live with that, it can rewire your body to have this constant stress instead of being settled. So that when peace finally comes, you don't know what to do with it. You're in the land of milk and honey, but you're still checking every bush for a snake. You're like, it could be a snake. It could be. You're in a whole provision. Provision is in your path. And you're looking for trouble. You're creating trouble in your mind. Let me show you how God told his people. It's Deuteronomy 8:10 through 14. When you have eaten and are satisfied, what are you supposed to do? Praise the Lord your God. I'm not supposed to create problems? I'm not supposed to sit and worry for the other shoe to drop? I'm not supposed to, what? When you have eaten and are satisfied. This is what we do. This is what I'm learning to do. Praise the Lord. I almost lost it right there. The Lord your God for the good land he has given. You didn't earn it. He has given you. Be careful that you do not forget the Lord. Otherwise, when you eat and are satisfied, when you build fine houses and your herds and flocks grow large, then your heart will become proud and you will forget the Lord. God wasn't just trying to get them into the promise. He was trying to get the wilderness out of them as well. That wandering mindset that won't let us rest. I said us on purpose. I'm working on it too. So here are some practical things that you can do when it happens. Here's what I'm learning to do. Now that it has happened in my life, now that God has brought me out of a season of struggle into a season of settling, from warfare, out of wilderness into a season of rest. Pause and praise. That's number one. Put number one in the chat. Pause and praise. Before you plan your next move, before you figure out what's going to happen, I need you to stop and acknowledge the God who is good and who does good and say, Father, I thank you. You taught me in all things to give thanks, not just when I'm struggling, but also when I'm settled. And so I thank you that you're the God of the hills and you're the God of the valleys. And I appreciate your hand in both places. Come on, I'm talking to my own self. I appreciate how you brought me out of the valley onto a mountaintop. Pause and praise. Don't let gratitude get lost in your daily grind. If God has allowed you to cross over, like he's allowed me to cross over, celebrate him. He's not just the God of your survival. I'm talking to you. He's not just the God of your survival. He's the lover of your soul. Pause and praise. Number 2, check your mindset. Crystal. Oh my, I should have just done a monologue today because I'm talking to my own doggone self. Check your mindset. The land changed, but did your logic change? Did you allow your reasoning to adjust to this season of rest? Put in the chat. The land, your logic got to match the land, honey. And if you're struggling, have you a struggle mentality? God bless you. But once you ain't struggling no more, why you still got a struggle mindset? The logic got to match the land, sweetie pie. Otherwise, you're going to manifest out of your mindset the same struggle environment in the land where you're supposed to be resting. You ever heard the saying, everywhere you go, there you are? You can't get away from you. Can't get away from how you think and reason. Let's take a deep breath. I feel the need for a breathing exercise. Are y'all okay? Number 1, pause and praise. Number 2, check your mindset. Let your logic match the land that you're in. And you ain't struggling no more. We're talking about what happens when it happens. You can't live in a land of overflow with a wilderness mentality. Are you still bracing for lack? Are you still assuming people will leave? Are you still working like provision depends on you instead of the fact that it's been provided and God has provided more than enough? Number 3, change your language. Number 1, pause and praise. Number 2, check your mindset. Number 3, change your language. No more, I'm just trying, girl. I'm trying to make it, child. Just taking it one day at a, really? Struggle language. I can never catch a break. I'm broke. I go off on people who be, don't. If you don't want to see it, don't say it. Change your language. You're in a different land now. Talk like it. Here's some other things to say. I'm learning to live in favor. I receive peace without guilt. Almost threw my phone. God has brought me into a good place and I belong here. I hope this is as good to y'all as it is to me, because I'm blessing my own self. Oh, Jesus. God has brought me into this good place and I belong here. Here's what I tell myself. Everywhere I go, I belong. And I'm going to act like I own the place. Period. If you don't like this joy that I have, I dare you to walk through what I walked through and see if you got some. I make no apologies for this joy that I have. It is the Lord's doing. Number 4, give yourself permission to enjoy it. This is what I'm doing. These are the things that I'm doing right now. Number 1, pause and praise. I thank God for every lesson that I learned in that wilderness season. I thank God it made me. It shaped me. I'm a tough cookie. I know it. I'm raising one. I am one and I'm raising one, but I'm not in that season anymore. Number 2, check your mindset. Number 3, change your language. Number 4, give yourself permission to enjoy it. Let yourself relish in it. Let yourself receive everything that God has in this season. Joy is not a setup for a letdown. Your peace can be permanent. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to breathe. God did not bring you out of that bondage so you could live in fear of freedom. Whom the Son sets free. Come here, Bible. Is free indeed. Now, I recognize that we're all in different seasons. Some of you have crossed over into this land like I have, where you like, bruh, it's a little too good over here. That's how I feel some days. I'm struggling through it too, and I understand. Some of you are still in a difficult season, still in a dark valley season. I want you to know that brighter days are coming. That the one who said, after you suffer a while, he said, the Lord himself, I'll strengthen you. I'll settle you. I'll place you on a firm foundation. He's going to do that. And when he does, my prayer for you is that you would allow yourself to receive strength to be settled, like you allowed yourself to receive strength in that struggle season. It's the same God. The same God in the valley is the God on the mountain. I pray that you would have the faith to enjoy the things that he's providing for you. Psalms 37:4 says, delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. When the desires show up, because they're coming, don't reject it because you don't know how to receive it. You prayed for this. Need I remind you? You cried for this. I'm getting flashbacks right now of my struggle season. I asked God, when this storm passes, make my life a light. I'll never be silent again. I don't care who listens. I don't care if I get 1 view or 1 million. Break my heart for that one who's going to watch and say, I'm never going to feel guilty for the blessings of the Lord in my life again. You cried for this. You survived for this. Your life isn't made to be just one long valley. We've got to learn to enjoy the mountaintop as well and not feel bad about it. This is my prayer for you today, that we learn how to handle ourselves when it happens, that we learn to be restored, to let God restore us in every sense of the word, and to make us a picture of what's possible. That's my prayer for you today. I love you guys. Please share this with somebody who needs to hear it. That's my only ask. I ain't collecting no offering. Don't need your money, praise the Lord. I just want to add value to your life. And I hope and pray that this has done so. I love you enough to tell you the truth. Crystal Speaks Live.